Going to deadlift today. A couple months ago, I think the guy's name was Jim Curley, sent me an email about deadlifting. So Jim, sorry it's been taking a little too long to get back to you on this. So instead of squatting today, we're going to commit to a deadlift today. Normally we squat every Friday. Today's a Friday. You know, me and my training partner, we've tried to do a deadlift, you know, midweek, but our work schedules have been so hectic, summer and all that, we just haven't been able to get a deadlift in. But we're going to go ahead. We just finished a complete band rotation, 3 weeks of bands and a free weight with the squat. So now we're just going to take a week off from squatting and deadlift. So real quick, the bands that we use, you know, you go on Iron Woody. We specifically, me and John talked several years ago about making these short bands for deadlifting. Years ago I used to use the long bands and I would just wrap them around till I would get, you know, get them much shorter so I could get some tension with the bands. And then John came up with these short bands. So I strongly recommend that you get with Iron Woody and order a set of bands. So these are the minis, smalls, or minis, monster minis, smalls, mediums, and larges. Same width as your regular bands that you use for benching and squatting, but you know, as you can see, they're a lot shorter. And same thing as with the squat and the bench, we double the bands around the anchor here. So I'm going to have you, we're going to take a break here in a minute. I'm going to have her then get over here and videotape us hooking up these bands. So you'll see there's, you know, these bands get doubled and it's very short and you think that you're not going to be able to pull it, but you can. You just got to develop the strength. Now, benching and squatting, you know, you get all your tension at the top, even you get some tension in the bottom. That way, you know, that's why, you know, with the squat and the bench, we do basically 3 weeks of bands and a week of free weight. Problem with the deadlift is that when the bar's on the floor, you never get any tension. You're only going to get tension from like mid-shin to lockout. So you really want to go every other week. You want to do one workout, you want to do bands. The following workout, you want to do free weight, the trap bar. Now, I got 2 trap bars. You go on NewYorkBarbell.com, and I got the shrug bar, the big one and the smaller one. And when I pull free weight, I pull from the handles. Standing inside, pull from the handles. And the reason for that is it allows you to train with max plus weight. You're going to be able to pull a lot more weight with the trap bar than you are with the regular deadlift bar. So I use the regular deadlift bar when I do my band work, and I do the trap bar when I do my straight free weight. And that allows you to train with more weight than you can with your regular bar. Now, when I was committed to my deadlifting, I kind of slacked off lately. The most that I could ever do for 10 with the regular bar free weight was around 495. After I trained for about a year consistently, I was able to pull 545 for 10. So I made a 50-pound increase keeping 10 reps, so that was a great strength increase. And I was able to do that, and I was up in the, you know, in the 700s for reps with the trap bar. So I strongly recommend you get a good trap bar, get these bands, and you know, one workout with the bands, one workout with the trap bar, and you'll see that your deadlift is going to start to go up. So we'll take a break here a minute, and we'll videotape hooking these bands up. Okay. This right in here was kicked out. I have this bolted down to the platform. In order to be able to deadlift with this heavy amount of tension, you got to have a rack that's bolted down. There's no two ways about it. If you don't bolt the rack down, these band tensions are just going to lift your rack right up. If you're only going to deadlift, bench, squat, whatever, with minis or monster minis, that's not going to cut it either. You got to be able to rotate to your heavier band tensions in order to get any kind of strength gains. The more band tension you train with, no matter what exercise it is, the stronger your free weight's going to be. Your strength is going to go through the roof. So it's important that you get, you know, commit to getting a rack. Like I've said before, I've got the schematics for this rack. I can email it to anyone. You can take it to a welding shop and have it made. So we'll go over real quick how we hook these up. You got the tape? All right. So we come through here, and this is doubled, of course. We don't never choke anything. Alright, now what we do is we get these together like that. That's doubled, and then I'm going to pull up the bar, and Chris is going to put some electrical tape around this band. And the reason for the electrical tape is it keeps everything nice and tight. especially when you get into the smaller bands like the minis, monster minis and smalls and stuff. If you don't tape them up, they're going to be flopping all over the place and everything gets uneven. So when we use the smaller bands now, when Chris or Jen deadlifts today and we hook up these smaller bands, we'll videotape how we set those up too. So I pull them tight.
One wrapper right in the bottom too. One on the bottom.
And then, yeah, around the bottom now. Now, putting this taper on the bands doesn't affect the stretch of the bands at all. You're still going to get the stretch. So we'll just tape doing this one side. We're going to do the other side, and then I'm going to get my suit on and start warming up. And I'll tape some of my sets. Alright, got these large bands hooked up. I train in my an old boss suit. Now, when you start out, now I'm starting out with larges today. You know, if you've never deadlifted with the bands before, I wouldn't start with larges. You probably want to start with, depending on how strong you are. You know, if you're a 500-600 pound deadlifter, you could probably start out with the smalls. It's just the last time I deadlifted, I used mediums. So today I wanted to use large. Now, I also use combination of bands. I do the same kind of band rotations that I do with the squats. I'll go through the smalls, medium, larges, then I do smalls and minis, medium minis, larges, minis, so I use combinations of bands. Again, especially since you're not getting any tension on the bottom, you want to develop that overload, that upper half, you know, where you're locking out that weight. That's going to develop your strength. So you want, once you get comfortable with the larges, you want to start using combinations of bands in order to develop that upper half. Now, when you got larges on, it's going from like 0 to 400 pounds at lockout. So what I do is I do short strokes. I don't lock it out on my first rep. I just do half reps and I work my way up to a lockout. So here we go. All the way up. Now, I'm taping Chris Gears, one of my training partners. He's never deadlifted with bands before, so you know it may be awkward. I'm not trying to embarrass him, but it's a learning experience. I want to videotape him learning, and that's going to help you people out there in internet land learn this as well. So it's really here. Back out there, Matt. Now his problem was he was setting up too far forward. So what I do is I set up, the bar's leaning forward because of the bands. You want those bands when you're pulling, you want those bands pulling straight up and down, right? So I back up a little bit. I have my ankle in line with the bands. I grab the bar. Now I pull the bar back and the bands are straight up and down. The bar's touching my shins, and right up, just like that. There you go. All right.
I gotta get back.
Tape now.
Did you tape this set when he...
I taped the set, but I stopped it.
All right, no, just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Now he fell back a little bit because he doesn't have those bands lined up. The bands are leaning forward a little bit, and the bar's trying to go back, and that's what's knocking him back. So it's really important that you set up so that when you're pulling, those bands are straight up and down. All right, try that. There you go. One more. Good. All right. Good set. All right. All right. Way back when, last time I did larges, I did 325 for 8. So I'm going to try that again today. So I'm basically going to go 1 plate. I'll strap up with 2 plates, and I'll go right to my set with 3 plates. that's it. Good. All right, we were talking off camera. You know, it is deceiving when you're warming up with just the bar, even with the larges. It's like, wow, that ain't so bad. You know, we just put a plate on and he was kind of struggling a little bit at the top. So it gets heavy quick. So you have to be conservative. Same philosophy. You know, I like to keep my reps higher. We shoot for 8 to 10 reps. So he's going to give 195 a try here. First time deadlifting with bands. All right, that's good. Yeah.
I wasn't going to walk out.
Yeah, he had a hard time, you know, with those bands, with that bar weight. As soon as he got up to here and those bands were really kicking in, he really, you know, that's where we found his weakness, you know. So we're going to have to dial it back, you know. Again, your first time using bands, no matter what band tension it is, it's a guessing game. You know, I've used all these band tensions in the past, so I know what I've done before, and that's what I'm basing today off of. But, you know, Chris will tell you, his first time with bands, I mean, all we did added was a plate and a 25, and it got heavy quick, you know. So those bands, the bands develop tremendous lockout strength. They develop tremendous overall strength, you know, when you're locking that weight out at the top. So, you know, anyone out there struggling with their deadlift or they want to give it a try, you're going to see, you know, you get going on these bands with these deadlifts, your free weight strength is just going to go through the roof. All right, 235 bar weight, last warm up. All right, 325 double larges. Hopefully I can get more than one. All right, took Chris back down to a plate. It's important that you get the reps. It's important that you lock them out. So again, it was his first time doing bands. Really didn't know what weight to go to. So plate and a quarter was a little too much. So 145 bar weight. He's gonna, you know, work on his form, work on locking it. It's very important to lock this weight out. So let's give it a rep. Perfect set, perfect. Good form. You're nice upright, staying upright. Good set. One more. Come on, drive it to lockout. All right, now, as you're going to notice, get out of there, get out of there. We deadlift the same way we squat. Now, when I squat, I'm squatting like this, okay? Using my legs. It's the same thing when we deadlift. We deadlift like this. There's no difference between our deadlift form and our squat form, okay? Deadlift is not a lower back exercise. It's you're using your legs. You want to develop a strong deadlift, drive out of your legs. Do not use your lower back. The lower back muscles are a lot smaller than all this muscle from your waist down. So when you deadlift, just make sure you stay upright. You know, and you're deadlifting with your legs and you're staying upright. You're not all hunched over.